Brianna and shine bright. 4 Pacific every Sunday, ride. New guests and new vibes. Talk, laugh, and shine. Oral Live. Hey, Oral Live.
Well, everyone, please give a warm welcome to Miss Rebecca. We are so excited to have her here, and we're going to be exploring kind of a fun topic today, which is why ballet matters. Now, first off, I just want to have you share your journey with us, how you started. We would love to hear your personal journey.
Yeah, hi, I'm Rebecca McCormac, and I'm thrilled to be here today to join the conversation with Oro Live about why ballet truly matters, not just as a technical foundation, but really a foundation that helps dancers of all styles, grow their confidence, their artistry, and their strength. I've been dancing since I was about 4 years old. And probably didn't start ballet till about the age of 6, originally from Australia, but have been living and working now in New York for about 18 years. So my journey kind of was started as a student, as most people as dancers start their journey and exploring all styles of dance. And then I went to college. I got my master's in dance, basically in contemporary, and then I've kind of shifted to artistic director of a contemporary company, and also a lot of teaching, a lot of ballet teaching. So I'm really excited to explore this topic today.
Amazing. Now, for my first question, I want to ask, what role do you think ballet plays in a dancer's journey?
I think for most young kids anyway, most start off with like a ballet something combo class. So I feel like for a lot of students, it's really their first exploration of any kind of dance class. They're taking like a ballet tap combo or a ballet jazz combo. Maybe they're seeing, like the Nutcracker at Christmas time, and they're imagining maybe themselves being a ballerina. So their first kind of like view of dance, maybe, especially when I was growing up, was like ballet. I feel like nowadays there's a lot more exposure to other styles of dance.
Yeah.
Ballet to me remains like a cornerstone of dance training because it really does build a strong technical foundation for flexibility, for strength that can then transcend and be used really in a lot of different styles. The physical benefits, beyond that, it teaches body awareness, it teaches spatial awareness, it teaches musicality, it teaches artistry. These skills can be, carried into the jazz class, into modern dance, into contemporary, into lyrical. So I feel like it really equips dancers with skills not only to dance well, but also to dance with intention.
Yeah, that's amazing. That's my first class ever was, like you said, ballet tap. So it really is oftentimes an introduction to so many dancers. And I mean, ballet is what made me fall in love with dance. And now we're still here 19 years later. And I love that so much. Now, I would love to know, why do you believe ballet remains such an important and fundamental piece of a dancer's training?
I think when I think about movement and dance, I really think about like the body and how the body works. And I feel that the inner core of the body for me, like structurally, is your spine, right? And then we have our musculature, and then we have our skin. So I like to think about ballet being kind of like the skeleton, like that foundation that then we can build upon. And then like our muscles are our strength, perhaps. And then like our skin is our artistry, like the frosting on top of the cake type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like if we have a really solid, strong foundation that comes from ballet, it can really help us be able to let loose and be more expressive in other styles because we have that to rely upon.
Amazing. And now, how would you say ballet shapes a dancer aside from technique in mindset and posture and discipline?
Well, I feel like ballet, at first and foremost, when you're coming into a ballet class, there's sort of a discipline in the way that you dress to start with, right? So there's usually rules about like what you're allowed to wear in ballet, mainly so that I feel like the teacher can see the body and then really help in your training and help with your postural alignment, the way you stand. So there, is that dress code. Then our positions and our line of movement and our alignment are things that we learn, which
Yeah.
are all discipline type things. Like the first thing I can think about learning in ballet are like the positions of the feet, the positions of the arms, we're taught small, short kind of combinations. There's a specific way to stand at the bar. There's a specific way to turn from one side to the other side of the bar. Classes are usually run bar first, then comes center practice, adagio, pirouettes,
Right.
petty allegro. There's all this structure in a ballet class that I think really helps train a dancer to have more than just the technique, but have that discipline that they can then carry into like all facets of their lives.
Mhm. Absolutely. And even when I was taking ballet, there's just such an etiquette that you learn that I feel like you can carry on to so many other pieces in your life, even aside from dance. But as someone who, is in the LA industry and doing auditions, there's so much I learned about dance etiquette that I feel like really carries on. And that's such an amazing piece of ballet. I mean, there's so many amazing things about ballet. Now, what would you say is one misconception about ballet today?
I think there's a lot of misconceptions, but I think a lot of, let's say, comp dancers, like if you're training to be like a competitive dancer, sometimes I feel that ballet is like a chore, like we have to take ballet. So I think if we can make it, as teachers and educators, if we can make it relatable, that can kind of help with that. But I think like ballet is boring, ballet is old fashioned, like ballet is strict, ballet is rigid. Then maybe on the other side of that, like you have to be perfect, or you have to be flexible, or you have to have these amazing feet to do ballet, like certain things like that. So there's almost like, we look to ourselves and like, I don't have this, how could I possibly do that? So I think there's a lot of misconceptions based off of maybe not so much body type, but like the body's ability to do certain things, and I think sometimes dancers tend to like navigate towards styles that they find not easier, but like the things that I think I like the most are the things that I've always found a home with. So like ballet, tap, contemporary, like things that I'm drawn to because they didn't come easy, but I felt naturally like drawn to those styles. So I think that for some dancers, ballet is challenging. And so then it becomes like, I don't like ballet. I don't want to do ballet because it's hard, and there's that kind of, you're never going to actually be perfect. You're always striving for something that's almost unattainable type thing. And it takes years of work and practice to kind of get there. And I think these days we want things to happen really quickly, and that's not really the case. With ballet, but really with any dance, like it takes years and years of practice to kind of master these things. And as educators, we're always still also working to master things too. Like we're not done with our journey of learning, even though we're now teachers or educators, we're not done, like students aren't done with their journey either. So yeah.
100%. Now, I would love to know, there's a lot of dancers in the industry who want to go to LA, they want to do hip hop. Commercial hip hop is one of the most prevalent styles, I would say, in the LA industry. Do you think that dancers who are looking to only do commercial hip hop in the industry would still benefit from taking ballet?
I think things that you've mentioned as a person yourself and like going to auditions in LA and working in a commercial industry, I think ballet to me is not the foundation for hip hop as a genre or as a style, but I think the life skills and the things that you can take from ballet outside of like the ballet class are things that can put you in good stead for auditions really in any genre of dance. But I think, time management, like knowing how to turn up for an audition, even just the way you dress, the way you hold yourself, I think are, important skills. And I think these days as dancers, it's really important not to pigeonhole yourself in like a specific box, that to be a workable dancer, you really need to be able to be versatile in as many styles as possible. So while like you maybe want to be a hip hop dancer is your life goal, not you per se, but like somebody, you want to take your ballet class so that, you can be as versatile as possible.
And I'm very grateful for my ballet training because, you know, there's so many things. I'm appreciative of the ballet training that I have, even when I am doing hip hop, because there's so many things. I mean, the control, the learning your port de bras, learning your body. It teaches you so much about your body that I feel like
Mhm.
helped me even in hip hop know how to move my body, how to do a proper body roll because I know my body, I know my muscles, I know how to move it. And that's
Mhm.
is something that I love because I do think it gives dances versatility. Absolutely. Now, I also would love to know what would you say is the balance between being technically strong and emotionally expressive?
This is a really interesting question because I feel like the two kind of go hand in hand for me. So I feel like if you have like clean technique and you're proficient technically to a certain level, then it gives you the freedom to be expressive because you don't have to keep thinking about your technique. Your technique is like there as the foundation. You've built like your Lego blocks, you built that technical foundation.
Muscle
And now
memory.
you can muscle memory. And now you can really shift your focus to the expressive side. Also, I think it's a maturity thing. So when I think about dancers sort of under the age of 10 who are maybe studying 2, 3 classes of ballet a week, say, and then dancers who are, 11 and above, I
Right.
think that everything sort of 10 and under is very squared off. Like the focus is forward, we're doing our alignment, devant a la secondaire, a la second, just very square on fast, and then when we get a little older and we have more maturity, whether it's in our muscle memory or just in ourself as person, we're able to use focuses. We can use our face, our allonge, and start those kind of
Mhm.
shift in the body angles a little bit more, which then allows for it to be even more expressive and maybe less rigid and less robotic.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like more like a maturity thing and a body awareness thing. But having a strong foundation technique allows for that kind of freedom of
Yeah.
expression.
Absolutely. Now, what differences do you see in dancers who train consistently in ballet versus those who don't?
I think the etiquette is a big thing. The way dancers take class or know how to take class. Like, I feel like if you're teaching a group of dancers that maybe don't take ballet on the regular or haven't taken a ballet class, they'll come in the room and they don't even really know where to stand sometimes. So there's that kind of teaching how to take a class. But if you've taken a ballet class, you've probably, from a young age, you've probably already kind of been exposed to
Mm.
those types of things. Yeah, etiquette, posture, the way you hold yourself. I think mind body awareness, I think coordination, spatial awareness. I mean, just teaching a ballet class or taking a ballet class, you're going through all these ways of going across the floor, ways of lining up in a line. There's just so many things that I think we're not even aware of that happen within that class that like you're learning and absorbing from like a young age, that people that maybe haven't taken a ballet class haven't been exposed to.
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And now, how would you say ballet has evolved in today's modern dance world?
Um, I think the word versatility is probably a good one to kind of explain the evolution. I
Mm.
think that there's always, going to be a place for romantic ballets, classical ballet. Um, but to keep audiences interested, and I think um, people aren't maybe wanting to sit through, a 3-act ballet anymore. People are collaborating on things or finding different ways of getting the audience's attention. So, delving into contemporary ballet, modern ballet, like William Forsythe. I mean, I know of ballet companies that do, use popular music or even teachers that, teach ballet classes
Mhm.
with pop songs and pop music to kind of try to appeal to Gen Z people and, things like that. I also
Right.
think part of our job as ballet teachers, ballet educators is to show our students and talk to them about like dance history and where things have come from and where things are moving forward to. But I think like versatility is like, yeah, something that people are doing to help with that. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Now, what is one piece of advice you would give to ballet students?
Um, I think for me, I'm always interested in the how and the why, not just like do this, do that. So like I was taught very much from very strict ballet teachers, and it was always like get your leg higher and your brom back more. Or so I like to teach my students how to do these things. So I like them to be inquisitive, not be afraid to ask questions, to like really be a part of like their own training.
Yeah.
So not be closed off to just being told like this is what you do, but also to like want to know how to do it. And that gives them more of an understanding of their body and their body awareness. Now, with that, I mean, there comes the discipline, right? So that doesn't mean that my students are just like calling out on the fly, but I want them to be interested in learning like the why and the how behind things rather than just you do this, so be open to ask questions, be communicative, I think is really important, so that they're part of their learning process. As educators and teachers, we can give you 50%, but you have to meet us 50% of the way. Like I can want you to be amazing, but if you're not going to put in the time and the effort, you're not going to get there.
Yeah.
We can only want it for you, but you actually have to do it for yourself, So
that's amazing. I love that you're open to a dancer's curiosity, because questions can lead to so many new ideas and new shapes and ways to move your body. And I love that you allow students to ask questions, because it helps us so much. So thank you for creating a safe space. Ballet should be a safe space to be creative and learn your technique. Now, I see that we have a question in the comment section. So I'm going to take this moment to say that if anyone else in here has any questions, please drop them in the comments right now and we will respond to them. So first one in the comment section, we have Brooklyn asking, what is the main thing you look for while judging?
Oh, this is a tricky question because I do feel like it's a little bit genre specific, number one, but it's also depending on if we're discussing a solo, like a duo, trio, small group, large group, different things based off of those different categories. I'm definitely looking for cleanliness. So I want to be able to see what you're trying to do and not be trying to find the words to explain what is that you're doing, if that makes sense. So I often ask a lot of questions when I'm judging. So I'm not sure if that's supposed to be derriere. Is that an arabesque or is that like an ulcicon leg? So often I find that clarity and cleanliness takes away some of those questions that I would then be asking. So if we can kind of see what you're trying to show us, that's super helpful. I love to see people pushing boundaries, like stepping outside of the comfort zone a little bit, not, trying to do a triple pirouette when they can't really execute a single, but artistically really trying to like step outside the boundaries and do something different, not sort of cookie cutter, copycat, what we see all the time. And if that is a musical choice, maybe that is juxtaposed to a genre style or something that wakes you up. Like often while you're judging, you're seeing lots and lots of routines. And sometimes there's a routine that just stands out because it's simply different. So, yeah.
I love that. And for our final question, I want to know, what is one thing from your ballet foundation training that you have carried with you into your adult life and career?
Oh, goodness. I think I have hyperextended legs. So I think that, I think they're a good thing and a bad thing in different ways, because the strength and the control, like required for weight placement is a little bit different. So I feel like for me, I think I've carried the things that I struggled with as a dancer and used them as tools to help other dancers. So I like to take what I had trouble with, and I often say, like, I'm looking at you, your rib cage is exposed. That's something that used to be one of my things. So it's like very clear to my teacher's eye that like your ribs are open because I was corrected on that, like my whole life. So I think just, the things that you struggle with personally yourself help you to then be a better teacher for, we always talk about like not every teacher's for everyone, like what I do and what I say might inspire you, but someone else might take an idea and that light bulb will go off in that moment for them from another teacher. But I think that we can utilize the things that we struggled with to make us better teachers for others, so that's something that I feel like I've taken with me. And it's nice to kind of see yourself in students too, like someone that has similar legs or someone that has similar feet or someone that, is great at adage but struggles with petit allegro and things like that, and then always it's a conversation, I think, about how we can work together to, help dancers improve too. It's not just one person doing all the work, if that makes any sense. I feel like the teaching is a collaborative thing as well. So
Absolutely.
yeah.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you everyone for watching and joining. Thank you so much, Rebecca, for coming and sharing your journey with us and your insight and your beautiful, beautiful knowledge. So thank you so much. And I do want to let you guys know, do not forget to follow us on Spotify and Apple Music podcasts. We go live every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific time. We will see you on the next live. Thank you so much for joining, and Aura loves you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Sunday, it's Oral Live. Hey, Oral Live. Yeah, Oral Live. Join us every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific. Talk, laugh, and shine at Oral Live.